Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you so much for joining us for our Tuesday weather update for November the 29th. Well, we've got a lot of low pressure on the map today. On the animated wind map, we're showing low pressure in the dark shading. So you can see a lot of low pressure on the Southern Ocean, the Tasman Sea, the Coral Sea, the Solomon Sea, and up here around the northern half of Australia and the western side of Australia. So there's a lot of low pressure, but some big highs coming into the Great Australian Bight from the southern part of the Indian Ocean and also out here to the northeast of New Zealand. Typical kind of spring weather, mid to late spring weather that we've got. The spring pattern usually fades away as we go through December. And just keep in mind, the last 5 years have been very settled, unnaturally settled, in fact, in the New Zealand area with more high pressure. This year, back to normal. That's the reason why it feels a lot more unsettled at the moment. So here's how we are as we go into Wednesday. Low pressure is moving across the New Zealand area, high pressure expanding across Australia's east. As the high expands, it does two things. One, it drives in an easterly to Queensland. That's why you're getting wet weather returning. And two, it encourages more of a southerly flow around New Zealand. And this low pressure zone right near Banks Peninsula certainly will encourage that. Now, the cold front's pretty weak as it moves into the North Island on Wednesday. Maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms as it does so. And then the colder southerly starts to kick in. So by the time we get to Thursday, that low moves away, or it pretty much goes out over the Chatham Islands. Then you've got this showery and windy southerly. It's a southerly quarter wind, which means southeast, southerly and southwesters are all possible across the country. And that's what we'll be seeing with another surge of slightly colder weather coming in during the afternoon for the south. While in Australia, low pressure deepens in the Coral Sea, encouraging windy east to southeast winds and rain from about the New South Wales-Queensland border northwards. Now we get to the end of the week and there's another cold surge in New Zealand, mostly around the South Island. It is going to be a little bit miserable for some of you, especially as that southeasterly or easterly wind blows in the wet weather. It's not going to feel at all like summer's just started. So a bit of a cold start to summer, but remember, summer starting on December 1st is a meteorological date. The astronomical date, which is based around the sun and the Earth's rotation around it, that means that spring still has at least another month to go. And when you look at our weather pattern right now, that makes a lot more sense. Let's have a look at the weekend. Saturday, high pressure, the one from Australia, finally moves in. Still not totally settled. Bit of a southerly flow around the country, but places in the north like Bay of Plenty, Coromandel, Bay of Islands, they'll all be really beautiful to be. So will parts of South Waikato and inland parts of Canterbury like South Canterbury. Still got showers and windy southeasterlies all the way around Queensland. Now as we go through to Sunday, high pressure finally moves into the New Zealand area, and now we start to get a taste of warmer weather because there comes a breeze out of New South Wales drifting into the lower South Island. That's going to feel a little more pleasant than the way you ended this week. So we've got a more settled end to the weekend. Now the final thing to mention, up in the tropics, a lot of low pressure in the Coral Sea. Not seeing a tropical cyclone just yet, but certainly we're getting to that time of the year where they're more likely. And with La Nina still around, although it's almost faded away, but it is adding just a little bit more fuel to the fire out here in the Coral Sea. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But the tropics for now, actually not looking too bad, but certainly looking pretty warm. That red line there showing the tropical air mass starting to drop further south. That's all from me. We'll see you on Wednesday with our next update.